Alright, hi everybody. I decided to do a quick video of 10 for me going through the homework quiz. Now understand that the questions are random, so they might not be exactly the same, but I'm just going to go through just one of each type of question so that you can just get a little bit more help. So for example, like number 1 and number 2 have the same directions. I'm just going to do one of them, and hopefully that's enough to kind of help you out with everything. Okay, so number 1, it says the scale factor of two similar polygons is given. They want the ratio of the perimeters and the ratio of the areas. So for the entire thing, all right, if it says ratio of perimeters, that is the same thing as saying scale factor. That's what that's asking for, is giving A to B. If it says areas, that's asking for a squared to b squared. So the idea is if you double all the sides of a shape, you're not doubling the area. You're actually increasing the area by 2 squared. You're quadrupling the area if you double the sides of a square or whatever. So they want the ratio of the areas to the perimeters or ratio of the perimeters and the areas. It does say order your answer from small to big. So that's going to be important. That might be why you're getting it wrong. So the scale factor is 10 to 3, but small to big, that would be reversing the numbers. So for perimeters, we want A to be 3, we want 10 to be B. So for the ratio of perimeters, small to big, it's just 3 to 10. We don't have to do anything to the numbers for that. So for the ratio of perimeters, it's 3 to 10. For the ratio of areas, that's A squared to b squared. So we want 3 squared and 10 squared, which we're going to simplify. 3 squared is 9, 10 squared is 100. Okay, so the ratio of the areas of the two shapes is 9 to 100. Okay, so ratio of perimeters is A to B, ratio of areas is A squared to B squared. Okay, the idea is, again, you don't double the area if you double the sides. Okay, you double the perimeter, but you don't double the area. So number 2 is the same. Number 3 is the same type of question, same directions. Let's go all the way to one like number 4. So number 4, 5, 4 and 5, those are the same type of problem. So this one is saying compare the first figure to the second, but the directions are then the same again. So I'm not going to erase the stuff on the bottom. They're going first figure to second figure. So for perimeter, that's just A to B. Well, the first figure has a length of 20. The second figure has a length of 8. We just don't leave it like that because that's not simplified. 20 and 8 have the number 4 in common. So 5 to 2 would be my answer for if you have that, number 4. Okay. Then the ratio of areas then is going to be squaring those things. Well, 5 to 2, instead of that, we're doing 5 squared to 2 squared, which is 25 to 4. Okay, so whatever you get for the first part, you just square your answers for the second part. Okay, number 5, same directions. Number 6 is different. So 6 and 7 are the same type of question. Let's do number 7 just because it's a little bit tougher. Well, they're both kind of the same. Maybe I'll do 2 of this one. Okay, so they want the two same things. They want the ratio of perimeters and they want the ratio of areas. What they're starting us with this time is so for number 6, the areas are 72 and 50. So what I know then, the ratio of the areas, 72 over 50, they gave us areas first. Let's simplify that. Remember, ratios need to be simplified. You could divide both of those by 2. 72 divided by 2 is 36. 50 divided by 2 is 25. So that's the ratio of the areas. They want scale factor and perimeter. Well, these are actually the same thing. So these blanks will be the same as these blanks. Okay, so I just need to figure out, okay, well, 36 to 25, that's A squared to B squared. what I want is what A to B is. Okay, well, if I know that 36 is A squared, the square root of 36 is A. Okay, the square root of 25 is B. So the square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 25 is 5. So 6 to 5 is my new scale factor, except for they want answers small to big. So that'll be 5 to 6 and 5 to 6. Okay. So this one that's labeled number 19 is similar. The math looks like it's a little bit tougher because it has some square roots in it, but that really isn't a big deal. Oh no, that really isn't a big deal. Here's what I mean. So again, they gave us the areas first. So let's do small to big right away so that I don't mess that up again. So the smaller number is 16 square root of 3. The bigger number is 121 square root of 3. That's not a simplified ratio because there's some things that can simplify. So first off, the square root of 3's will just cancel. If you take square root of 3 and you divide it by square root of 3, that's just 1. Okay, the next thing we can do is take the square roots of these. Well, that's actually going to be what I want to do in a second. So the simplified ratio, A to B, this time, 16 is A squared and 121 is B squared. Okay, well, I just want to figure out what A to B is. Again, scale factor and perimeters, that's the same ratio. They're the same thing. So if 16 is A squared, the square root of 16 gives us A, so that would be 4. If 121 is equal to B squared, the square root of 121 is equal to B, so that's 4 to 11. So that's 4 to 11 and 4 to 11 if we're going small to big. Okay. All right, let's see. 8 and 9 are the same thing. So let's just do number 8. It says that the shapes are similar. They want us to figure out the ratio of the perimeter and the ratio of the areas. Find the area of the larger figure. So I see a 4 and an 8 here. All right, so I'm going to start with ratio of perimeters. All right, because that's A to B. Well, if I'm going first figure to second, that's 4 to 8, which is not simplified, so I'm going to write it as 1 to 2. So that's one of my answers right there. Okay, then the ratio of the areas is A squared to B squared, which is 1 squared to 2 squared. Well, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. So that's my next answers, 1 to 4. Okay, the area of the larger triangle, that's the tougher part here. So we're talking areas, which means we need to use this ratio, the 1 to 4. They gave us the area of the smaller triangle. So I need to use, since they said area, they're looking for an area, that means I need to use this ratio. So I'm going to write it as 1 over 4. Okay, that's equal to, now I need to use this number they gave us here, this 12. Okay, so I know that the 12 is the area of the smaller one. So 1 is a smaller number than 4, so I need to put the 12 up top. If 12 would have been the area of the larger, I would have put the 12 down on the bottom. All right, so that's 1 over 4 equals 12 over x. So 1x, when I cross multiply, 1x is equal to 12 times 4, which is 48, which means x is 48. That one didn't solve too tough. Okay. And then so that one's the same steps. Let's do the very last one together. Okay. All right, so last one, and I think this one should be on everybody's homework quiz. If you look, the area of a regular octagon is 45 square feet. What is the area of a smaller regular octagon? So I know that 45 square feet is the larger area. Okay, that's what this sentence just told me. Okay, all right, so the smaller one has sides 1/3 the lengths of the sides of the larger. So that means if I'm looking at the ratio of the perimeters, they just gave me the ratio of the perimeters. The A to B in this case is 1 to 3. So I need to know that because I'm trying to figure out the area of that polygon. So again, this one's going to take us through the same steps. The area of the ratio of the perimeters is given, 1 to 3. The ratio of the areas is a squared to b squared, which is 1 squared to 3 squared, which is 1 to 9. That's my second answer. So the bigger octagon has sides that are 3 times bigger, but it has area that's 9 times bigger. So 1 to 9. All right. The area of the larger octagon. Yeah, this should say, I'm sorry, I just was reading. That should say smaller. So the area of the smaller regular octagon is what they're looking for. Excuse me. So we know that 45 is the bigger. They're asking us what's the area of the smaller. So that's just this is a typo right here. I'll fix that. So we know that the ratio of the areas is what we need. All right, since they're asking for an area, I need the ratio of areas. 1 over 9 is equal to, and then we got to figure out where the 45 goes. Since the 45 is the bigger, I'm going to put the 45 on the bottom and x on the top. I'm looking for the smaller. Okay, so I'm going to cross multiply. 1 times 45 is 45. 9 times x is 9x. If I divide by 9 on both sides, 5 has to be that smaller area, 5 square feet. All right, so that's just a couple examples to get you through. Feel free to email me with further questions.